Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Lucas and welcome back to another F1 Esports onboard POV video, and today we have round 7 around Monza, Italy, and on screen at the moment are the results from last race that we did around Zandvoort, where we picked up a 1-2 for the team, picking up our third one of the season, and also here are the drivers and team standings from after that last race as well. So yeah, 15-point lead in the championship to our rival Frederick Rasmussen, and we are also leading the team's championship pretty well at the moment. So yeah, that was after event 2. This is now event 3, so heading into our first run of Q1 around Monza. Now, I think if you ask all 30 F1 Esports drivers what the qualifying they would look forward to least on this calendar, it would be this one around Monza, and let me explain why. This chicane, quite literally, the chicanes around this track were, how do I say this, RNG. It was very up and down, very hard, almost impossible to be consistent, so yeah, it was not the most enjoyable experience to send it on the limit with a lot on the line through these, you know, very tricky sections of track. And yeah, this lap has been a little bit scrappy so far as we head towards Parabolica for the final time. Not for the final time? The first time. Final corner, sorry, I have lost the plot already and we're just getting underway. Yeah, just not a very good lap by the looks of it. So yeah, what's it going to be as we cross the line? It is an 18.872 I think, and we are P7 with that lap, so yeah, just we need a bit more than that for sure to be comfortably through. So yeah, 8.72 was the time. Now we need to go again for the second time in Q1, which means we are going to have to, if we want to save 2 sets for Q3, we're going to have to do 1-1 in Q2, which is not easy. But heading into the first chicane, not having a good apex at all. We are significantly down now on our lap, and that is quite scary when you've still got this treacherous chicane to negotiate into turn 4 now, braking just after 100 meter boards, give or take. I mean, this is Q1. You can see me you're just gliding over these curbs. It's so random where you don't know what the car's going to do. We finally break green on the Delta now as we head through Lesmo 2 now. Just not getting the optimal exit speed, but yeah, it's a tricky one, so this track, I must say. I mean, I think as well, I think it's going to be, well, what the case was at the time is as well, we were rediscovering that the 60 FPS was apparently still working to reduce the impact of curbs, which was not meant to be the case. And for reference, this entire, for qualifying and race, this track was done, as you can see, we managed to actually get through into Q2 with our first lap because we didn't even improve, so that was very lucky in a sense because we didn't even improve. But now we've got to definitely improve on the second, well, got to set a better banker lap now on our first run of Q2. So back to what I was saying, the only time I used 60 FPS all season was in the Mexico race. So this track was all with 240 FPS capped, which was, to say the least, tricky because the difference it made was quite substantial. But the problem was we only found out about this as a team on this day, that it was actually still functioning. It was a bit of a mess because we don't know if people were running it before, how long it had been a thing again, because you know, our assumptions were that it wasn't going to be a thing from the start of the season, so we'd been running 240 FPS capped the entire season, and we continued to do so the entire season until, apart from Mexico race, because I couldn't adjust to it in Mexico qualifying in time. It's a very big difference running at 60 FPS instead of 240, so yeah, it was very tricky so I had to use it in the race at Mexico, but then I couldn't use it in USA because it was literally shaking my full speed back down the straights, which was just not ideal. So yeah, this event was a little bit weird in that respect, but as I've been talking about all that stuff, we actually set a very respectable lap, a 5.92 on our first run of Q2, which is definitely enough to put us in the consideration to, yeah, well there you go, get through in one run. We put it P2 with just the one run, which means we have accumulated 2 sets of tyres again for Q3. So yeah, but yeah, I've addressed the FPS stuff because that was a bit of a drama at this point in the season. But yeah, heading on to our first run of Q3, breaking into turn 1, and we lock the rears and lose it through the transition to 1 to 2 there. So already this lap has been, yeah, compromised from the get-go, which means we need to try and claw our way back for the rest of this lap, which is, yeah, not an ideal thing you want to be doing. But we get a, well, it looks a pretty decent hop over the curb, but we yeah, it can look good, but always sometimes it isn't. A little bit of a wobble on the exit of Lesmo 1, short shift to 6th in the exit of Lesmo 2, DRS open, and yeah, I mean, into turn 1 that was not ideal whatsoever. I mean, usually my issue into that corner was front right under rotation, so the fact that I locked the rears was, you know, that's the opposite issue, so it definitely caught me by surprise because that was not the usual occurrence into turn 1. But heading into Parabolica now, getting the car in nice and tight to the apex, short shifting to 6th, saving the distance now. You want to take this nice and tight line on this game, try and save the distance, gain those extra few hundreds, and it is a 5.88, so identical basically to our first run of Q2. So you can see quite clearly it was not a great lap. So we've got it all to do here. This is the hardest qualifying of the season in terms of the track, I think, on this game. So we've got it all to do. Heading into turn 1 now for the final time, and yet again we lock the rear tyres. How we managed to do it 2 laps in a row, I have no idea. But we are only 200s down, but 200s down on an already miserable sector 1. So it's all or nothing. We've got to go for it. Heading into the Roger chicane, and we nail the corner cut over turn 4. We perfect that high risk but high reward corner cut, which is one of the hardest things to do, even in practice. So we are now really starting to build momentum. This lap is actually looking, apart from, you know, me trying to do my best drifting impression in turn 1 and 2, looking like quite a good lap. So we've got a few more corners now to negotiate to round it out. Heading into Ascari now. 6th gear, high commitment, using the curbs, now really starting to cook with some gas. One more corner to negotiate, and yeah, it's been a solid recovery during this lap up to this point. Let's just try and round it out now, getting a pretty decent exit, using decent road in the exit, and it's looking, well, certainly better than it started. And we cross line, it's a 4.72, not a fantastic lap overall, but given how it started, this lap was pretty mega. So yeah, we just need to hope that other people don't hook up a really optimised lap. We didn't get that first chicane whatsoever, but we managed to nail the rest of the lap. So at the moment we're P3, we've still got Thomas Ronato, speaking of which, just gets ahead of us on the grid, but it's going to be P4, which is fantastic in all honesty around Monza, because P4 keeps you in play. So yeah, this was honestly a fantastic qualifying around what we thought was the hardest qualifying of the season to get a lap on the board. So P2 and P4 as a team, with Barry doing an excellent job up in P2, that is exactly what we needed. So heading into the race now, I will apologise in advance, I don't have any audio for some reason on this footage, but I've got the footage, just going to have to listen to my wonderful voice. That'll probably put you to sleep. 5 red lights on your screen, and we are on the hard tyre. The lights go out, and we actually get a pretty great start. And we pull alongside Thomas now, who starts on the mediums. We have Barry, our teammate, on soft. His goal with this race was to try and, yeah, we split the strategies. I went the traditional strategy, and Barry went very aggressive, trying to optimise track position. And as you can saw there, we had this we didn't actually make contact with Nicholas, but there was this incredibly weird sort of like connection contact. I have no idea what it was, but as you can see, the car's like ghosted. It was a really weird contact, so yeah, I have no idea what actually happened there in regards to Nico having a minor, not half spin, but like a moment into turn one, because I don't actually think we hit him, but I don't know, it was such a weird moment, but yeah, we managed to actually get ahead of Thomas Ron on all of this, and yeah, this is not necessarily a bad thing because it means that it sort of, I guess, delays Thomas's progress in getting out front, albeit he will, you know, get immediately past his enemies. He wants to burn his battery to obviously get ahead when he can, so, you know, we don't put up too much of a fight. And yeah, heading to Parabolica for the first of 27 times in this race, and yeah, now we are thinking already about how does our race look, and we're really racing with our strategy anyway. Nicholas in front of us, for example, on the hards, and we also have Danny Berezny, Nico's teammate, on the softs, who's went obviously very aggressive, similar to our teammate Barry, to try and leapfrog as far ahead on track position, and then obviously play the strategy from that point onwards. So we also have Patrick Sipos in P6 as well on the hard tyre. And yeah, skipping on to lap 5 now. The race is as you were from where we left off at the start of lap 2. Barry out front, leading with Thomas in tow, as the soft sort of degged off pretty quickly, but they allow you to get out front, which is the purpose of it. And yeah, we have Nico in front of us in P3, and Bresney and Sipos in tow. So yeah, as we start lap 6 now, I decide to just not burn massive amounts of battery, but just try and, you know, keep the pace of this train moving. Let's try and lose, you know, not try and lose as little race time as we can to the guys, I guess, ahead of us as well, because we for our strategy to work, we need to make sure we don't lose time. So yeah, coming on to lap 9 now, as we are going to see Danny Berezny peel into the pit lane. I believe our teammate as well, Barry Berman, has also already made a stop, as Nico now decides to re-overtake us. Now, this is a key moment in this race, and it might not look like it, but Danny Berezny has just pitted off of his softs onto a set of, I believe it was a set of hards, maybe? We'll find out soon enough, but Nico Longe now takes the track position from us, which we weren't too fussed with at this moment in time. But as you're going to see, this is where a race that could have actually worked out pretty well for us, given where we started, completely unfolds, and our strategy completely sinks our race, which is going to be painful. So heading through the Sky chicane. And yeah, just following Nico now, and you can see he's got a sort of a 3/4 buffer to the ahead of us. And yeah, lap 10 was a very, very early lap to even consider pitting. It was possible to get to the end, but you would be pushing it, let's say. But as you can see, Nicholas Longe opting to dive into the box. So I am on the ERS button, the DRS is open, and we are going for it now. Now, I've just said now twice in a row. The key thing here is, remember, Danny Berezny boxed 2 laps, what will be 2 laps before us, and Longe has just boxed, which means that he can, be potentially towed along by his teammate who's undercutted. So these were all very, very early pit stops, but the key thing here is the Alfa Romeo duo, the two of them, are in play against us. Now, if both of those cars get ahead of us, we are in serious, serious trouble, and no amount of tyre advantage in the world will be able to help me get out of that pickle. So it is paramount that, you know, I was making the best use of this lap. But the problem is I didn't have the call to pit until after Ascari, so I hadn't been burning my battery, and as you're going to see, it was way too late, and this is crucial because we are going to lose crucial meters that end up costing us serious points in this race. I'm trying not to make this too much of a spoiler alert, but I guess that's just how the commentary is unfolding. But as you can see, diving into the pit lane now, Patrick Sipos falls in behind us. We break a little bit early there in general, but again, it's better not to send it over the limit and get a penalty, because then your race is officially done. But yeah, pitting on lap 11 now, which, yeah, it's insane. I mean, we had, so let's give you the rundown. Nicholas Longe pitted in lap 10. Danny Berezny, lap 9. Frederick Rasmussen, lap I can't remember, lap 10 maybe, I think. So yeah, but now as you can see, we're coming out alongside, side by side, Danny Berezny, and we're now side by side with Frederick Rasmussen. So this has already worked out badly, but now Freddie switches to the inside. Now I do not want. It's painful even just to watch back, because you would think, oh, just close that door, but I could have shoved them off the track and then I get a penalty. That's not what we need, but I can't defend. My tyres are freezing, and he just steams around the outside. So that was possibly the most painful minute of one of the most painful minutes of this season was what just happened there. We get jumped by both Alfa Romeos, or well, not jumped by both, but lost the position to both Alfa Romeos, lost the position to Freddie, who was our championship rival, who was starting, behind us on the grid, and now we were in a train with Nico at the head of it and Berezny right behind Nico he could effectively, if required, play rear gunner, and to spell it out, I pitted in lap 11, Freddie pitted in lap 10, I remember now, Berezny pitted in lap 9, and Longe back on lap 10, pitted on lap 10 as we have a few more cars making their stop. Now, I had a 1 lap tyre advantage in the car ahead of me in a slipstream train. The car ahead of me had a 1 lap tyre advantage in the car ahead in a train, who was getting pulled along by a car who had a 1 lap tyre advantage on that car. So what I'm saying is, without me sounding like I'm making excuses and all that rubbish, because it sounds like a total bunch of, randomness, we're in trouble because we cannot make passes in a train with this. And as you can see, it's now getting a bit feisty ahead of us. We try and see if there's any openings, but there absolutely isn't. It's, sorry for the sniffle. It is just, yeah, that just isn't. And we don't have the battery to, mount a major attack. We've probably spent it on, previous attacks or trying to stay close for relevant moments. We have CPOS as well behind us, pushing us on at moments that we don't want to be using energy. So this was not a great position to be in. This was extraordinarily frustrating to be stuck in this position as, the cars start jostling around ahead. And now the thing as well is, I was also kind of hopefully anticipating that Freddie would, be able to fight Berezny more and get past Berezny, and then that opened the opportunity for me. But as you can see, that's not happened yet, and it's on lap 20 now. So, yeah, the win of this race, never going to happen. And P3, which was what we were originally fighting with on the first stint, is also now looking like a huge long shot, and we're in P6 from starting P4. Now this is really painful when you're in this situation. You can see me just trying to force a move, not a move, but just trying to create something ahead of me, because you've got to remember, I have my championship leads 15 points to the car directly ahead of me. But equally, I can't risk making an absolute huge lunge. There's no, logic to that, making that move. I mean, there's a huge risk and reward, but doesn't make any sense for me to do a superhero lunge that could potentially end my race or get me a penalty or get me, or track limits, these sort of things. You've got to play the percentages, and heading into the chicane, or turn 1, sorry, we locked the rears completely as the cars ahead slowed up more than I was expecting, and I actually got caught out by it. And now this is things getting even worse, because now we're side by side with Patrick Sipos, spending all the battery that I was trying to save to use against, the cars ahead when they started to fight. We go side by side through the chicane. We don't make contact, but Sipos decides to take the off. To go off the road. I think he bailed out, thinking he wouldn't make the corner, maybe, as we hold the position now. But Shipos, sorry, I've said that incorrectly. Sorry, Patrick, please don't hate me. yeah, he now gets the DRS, and you can see me using my battery, just trying to hopefully stay ahead, or trying to get back into the DRS of the train ahead. That's why I didn't put up, you know, ultimately as much of a fight as we pick up a track limit warning there, because I really wanted CPOS in a way to get that DRS back on the train ahead. But it's as this race was just falling to pieces, and yeah, it was all about just keeping composed, keeping it together. But as CPOS, sorry, I've done it again. He loses the car. He doesn't get DRS. David Tanitsa has more battery now, so he's blasting it. We have nothing left from all of this, but we've got to go offensive now. We've got our back against the wall. We go up the inside, trying to make it difficult for the cars around us. Tanitsa goes round the outside. CPOS gets shown the door. We make the switch back, get the traction, so we maintain one position in all of this, and now we're following David Tanitsa, who is now exposed to... He doesn't have DRS of the car ahead, so hopefully this allows us to get back in the mix. However, you know, for this race to, you know, this race couldn't get any worse as it is. David now actually has DRS because the cars actually start fighting just when I need them to actually not. So the timing, just everything in this race was going wrong. It felt like, you know, everything, you know, apart from, you know, crazy stuff that could end your race was going, you know, against us and going wrong in this race. The strategy was, you know, disastrous. It was just nothing worked out. It was this was really painful. We started P4. We're now P7 on track. David actually ahead of us had a penalty, so it meant we would get P6 if we held this position. But yeah, this was incredibly frustrating as a race to not only drive, but just to try and... You just had to keep composed as well, because you know, you let your emotions out after the race. But doing this race, it was incredibly frustrating to see. You know, at the start of this race, I thought, right, how can we win this race? And then we came away with what is looking to be a P6. That is, you know, within a 50-minute time scale of doing a race, that is a massive letdown, and also a massive loss of points in the championship. When on a day we thought we would be able to pull away from a rival at this point, Freddie Rasmussen, he actually gains points on us, and we do get P6 in the end. And yeah, this was definitely a race where points were lost, but we still, you know, as we always sort of, I guess, say, points mean prizes. We still picked up a P6 as it was in the end. And yeah, it was painful, but we still managed to keep our championship lead. Barry finished P2, Thomas Runner took the win, so they actually closed in on our lead as well. Jarno Ockmere in P5 as well. But yeah, I guess the crucial thing is that we were still in the lead of the Drivers' Championship and doing incredibly well in the Constructors, with our teammate Barry getting a P2 in that race as well, with his strategy working out really nicely, so GG to him. But anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And yeah, let me know what you thought of this race and how you're enjoying this, you know, onboard F1 Esports series in general. The support in this series has been pretty mega to see. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to catch you guys in the next one. So take care everyone, love you all, hope you're all well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya, ciao.